time for another episode about my guinea pigs. This is Chocolate Bullet, as many of you may know, and now it's time to reveal the story of her and how she became from an innocent little baby to the leader of my herd. G'day guys, I'm AJ and welcome to Get Films. G'day guys, I'm AJ and this is Chocolate Bullet, one of my guinea pigs, one of 4. When I was about 15, I started to get really obsessed with guinea pigs. Like, I was watching YouTube videos and I wanted to be one of those people who, you know, really, you could tell just by the amount of guinea pigs that they had, that they loved guinea pigs. And so I wanted it to have more than just a typical 2, which is the time with Pip and Squeak. I wanted to have 3. And so I found Chocolate Bullet. We found her on Gumtree, which was the first time we ever used Gumtree to get a guinea pig. She was very small at the time, and I was very surprised at how small she was. Now that I was watching YouTube introducing videos and all these other YouTube videos, I found out that introducing was the best way to get guinea pigs to get to know each other for the first time. But as I put the guinea pigs in a area that none of them had ever been before, when we walked up to them, they could tell that Chocolate Bullet was scared and they cuddled her. We did not know that the cuddling was simply just to protect her. And we simply thought, oh, they've got along instantly. This whole introducing thing that isn't needed. And therefore, we put them in the cage instantly. This was a true mistake. Pip, because Squeak had come to Pip as a little baby, about 1 week old, Pip was very overprotective of Squeak, seeing her as a little tiny baby, even though she was now about 1 year old and was definitely not a baby. And because of that, Pip would not let Chocolate Bullet go anywhere near Squeak. Pip and Squeak went into the hidey where they normally slept, and the warmest place and darkest place of the cage. And then Squeak was in it, and Pip just kind of poked her head out and kind of just blocked the entrance with her head. Chocolate Bullet, the poor little baby, tried to get in, but every time she did, Pip would then instantly nip her, and Chocolate Bullet would popcorn back, super duper scared. Chocolate Bullet had to find out another way to have a warm, dark place to feel safe in, because that was the only place in that cage at the time. Of course, at that time we were also training them, so it wasn't just a small cage with one hidey. At daytime, we let them out and let them run around the garden, which had a fence around it. And then we would tap the cage and they would train to go back in. Chocolate Bullet found this to be her favourite bit, where she could get solitary time and freedom time, where she could do whatever she wanted without anyone telling her what to do, as Pip wanted nothing to do with her, and Squeak couldn't have anything to do with her because Squeak was getting overprotected by Pip. But Chocolate Bullet still really wanted someone to sleep. So I did this thing where I got some newspaper and hay and started putting them all in a corner where Chocolate Bullet was sleeping, so that she would at least feel warm. I also got some newspaper and kind of used it as a newspaper curtain so that it would be dark, and so that she could hide under something and feel a bit more safe and secure. We also got a hidey, which we put in spare space in the cage, but Pip still felt attached to the corner, the edge of the ramp, so we just ended up using the newspaper curtain for that. And ever since then, Pip has absolutely loved anything to do with curtains or just like blankets to hide under. You can see that there? She stopped squeaking because she loves that. As she grew older, she grew more stubborn and became way more independent. She wasn't looked after by either of the guinea pigs, even though she really, really wanted to. She knew that they were guinea pigs and that she did have an attachment to them and were connected to them. She did not look at them as a family or part of her family like they looked at each other as. Pip and Squeak were looked at as mother and daughter, when Chocolate Bullet was kind of just looked at as the odd little guinea pig of the crew. Soon we got Caramel. Caramel was a little baby, and at the time we had to move the guinea pigs to the front yard. The front yard did not have a fence, but we would feel heartbroken to lock them in their tiny little cage, so we ended up letting them run around for a bit. And that was okay for a very good long time. We thought that showing them to run around the yard would be great. And that's why we got Caramel, because everything seemed to be going really well. That was until it didn't. One day, both Caramel and Pip did not come back to the cage. And unfortunately, the next morning, we found Pip's body, like, completely pulled apart. And we knew that it was a fox, because that's what foxes do to their victims, which is just horrible, because this fox was just killing for sport. It didn't even eat any of Pip. Like, it was just a very scarring thing to see. And luckily Caramel was okay. My idea was that Pip had protected Caramel. Pip had accepted Caramel as baby due to the fact that we introduced her properly with her unlike Chocolate Bullet. But once Pip was no longer there and no longer could be overprotected for Squeak, Squeak and Chocolate Bullet actually got to know each other. It started off with a lot of chasing and a lot of, ooh, who's going to be the boss now since Pip's gone? And they really had to work this out. But Chocolate Bullet eventually was the boss. If you don't know, in a normal guinea pig herd, there's the male, or the boar, which is the boss of all the other guinea pigs. There's the females, there are a lot of females, and a lot of babies, and there are no other males. The females are the mums, the babies are, well, little ones who want to grow up to see if they can become, grown-ups, and mums, or the new leader if they're a male. And so a family of guinea pigs, the male is normally the boy guinea pig, or the dad. And so Chocolate Bullet kind of acted as a father figure, even though she is technically a girl. So with Caramel, she was the father figure. With Fudgy, she was the father figure. With Nutella, she was the father figure. With Truffles and Toffee, she was the father figure. You may notice now that I am mentioning a lot of new names. This is because, unfortunately, we had a lot of accidents with foxes and cats in our neighbourhood. At first we didn't know what it was, and we thought it might just be a one-off thing. But then once Caramel disappeared, we tried to get them to come to the cage earlier, thinking that maybe we were wrong about what time foxes and cats came hunting. This, of course, did not work either, and so we had to put them in their own cage, locked up. But this cage was way too small, and Chocolate Bullet here, who loves running around and just loves being able to be trained and loves freedom and independence, well, she would always seem to find out a way to get out of these cages because she hates being in small spaces. She wants to be free, and she knows that she herself is very well trained, and that no matter what sort of late night thing she goes through, she will always come back unscathed. And so, but when she did, a baby would now and then follow her, and babies can get through these things much easier than Chocolate Bullet can, since babies are smaller, and it just kept going like that until finally we were able to get a safe cage in which Chocolate Bullet was able to feel free and happy in, which was big. It was a big run, so Chocolate Bullet could run around and feel free, and it was also secure. So even if so no foxes or cats could get to it and attack them. Although now and then we still have had the occasional thing where Chocolate Bullet just wants to have a little bit of fun. Chocolate Bullet has had multiple times where she's escaped from the cage, whether it be the big one that we have now or other small cages, and she will just have a little run around. At these times we got very scared because there had been times where guinea pigs had escaped or just simply not come back to the cage, and we were just absolutely freaked out because those times the guinea pig didn't come back or we would find the dead body. And so the first time this happened, we were freaked out for Chocolate Bullet and really scared and trying to find her. But the next morning, she just kind of waddled back to the cage, like completely acting as if this was normal. And after about a second time of this happening, we realized that Chocolate Bullet knew exactly what she was doing. And that she is just a fully trained, completely independent guinea pig who just knows how to camouflage. As you can see, she's black, and therefore she blends in with the night very well. And she just knows how to, like, do her own thing. And sometimes she'll just want some alone time from the rest of the herd and want to go on her own little adventures. Isn't that right? But whenever these things happen, she would always come back to the cage for food or for simply just because it's the routine and because that's what she does. But she wouldn't come back to the cage until morning because she knew that at night time, if she revealed herself, then perhaps animals could come and get her. She is very good at finding the best hiding spots in the world when it comes to when she does escape. She'll find the places where we simply cannot get to her, like behind this big bush that was so tightly bushed together that we could not push through it to find her, and she was like at the very, very back of it, and therefore we had to wait until she came out herself. Like, it's because she was small. She's a very smart and very intelligent guinea pig. So that is Chocolate Bullet. She normally isn't that squeaky, but she definitely is very cheeky. She is very intelligent, very independent, and a really good leader. But she's mainly just very cheeky, which means that she's sometimes not a good leader because she will set a bad example, but she will be very protective and very loving to all of her other guinea pig friends, including Squeak, which now they are like inseparable best friend sisters too now. With Chocolate Bullet acting as the father figure and Squeak acting as the motherly figure, even though Chocolate Bullet is a girl. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch the video about Squeak that I did about this, then look in the description down below, or simply click on my channel button and you can find all of my videos down there and see if you like them, and if you do, subscribe. So thank you guys so much, and goodbye.